everyone. Today I'm going to be listening to, well, this is a special weekend, and as we like to do sometimes with the special weekends, we take a little detour here, detour there, special feature of something. Today it's a special feature of something, which I haven't heard yet, I can't really tell you much about, but Vlad has just told me that it's not exactly rock, like rock music. He says it's kind of, it's a modern composition, but perhaps doesn't fall under the rock umbrella very squarely. But his idea is that it's good for me to see from time to time where music branched out and took off from rock along the way. Because of course, starting in the 50s, 60s, rock was basically the modern musical style. And after a few decades, sometime, then we started getting other things like, I don't know, rap, disco, whatever else comes out of the modern musical creative basket. So I don't know what this is going to be, but I'm about to find out. So let me read a few things and then we'll go on from there. Roberto Concina, known professionally as Robert Miles, was an Italian record producer, composer, musician, and DJ. Children is an instrumental composition which was first released in Italy in January 1995. Okay, so really moving even past what I have learned is kind of the classic rock era. Children was certified gold and platinum in several countries and reached #1 in more than 12 countries. It was Europe's most successful single of 1996. Well, that's interesting because as I'm reading all these introductions to all the different music I'm listening to in this project, sometimes I read it was a hit in Australia and, I don't know, Iceland somewhere, UK, America, or it was a hit in the Netherlands. But now this is just saying it was Europe's most successful single. So I guess this one pleased Europe. Miles gave two inspirations for the writing of Children. One was as a response to photographs of child Yugoslav war victims that his father had brought home from a humanitarian mission in the former Yugoslavia. And the other was inspired by his career as a DJ, was to create a track to end DJ sets intended to calm rave attendants prior to their driving home as a means to reduce car accident deaths. Really? So people got so wound up that they'd get in car accidents on the way home? I guess I'm thinking, as a classical musician, that's not something I ever really thought about. Musical performance getting the audience so crazed that they can't drive home safely? Well, all right. Good motive then, I have to say, behind this song. Children cost £150 to record. Only 150? That's not bad. At least from my perspective. Let's see what it sounds like. And hold on, actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. I have two sets of headphones on my table here this morning, and I'm supposed to use a different pair because this company, Weston Audio, they sent me this set of headphones to try, and I'm curious to see how they will sound. Let's see if I can get this set up here. Can you believe it? A pair of wired in-ear headphones. I am told that they have very good sound. They're supposed to be for high quality listening experience. And I understand that wired headphones are coming back into style for some reason. So I'm going to try this out and see what it's like. I'm comparing them to the wired headphones I knew years ago, back before we had wireless. And I don't know, these wires are thinner than I remember mine being, but they feel nice and flexible. And these ear pieces are certainly bigger than the ones that I used back when. And they come in this little box. Nice little box. Oh wow, all kinds of earpieces and attachments here. I suppose That's for customizing the fit. And all of this comes with a little bag to fit it in. Nice cloth too. Feels pretty good quality. Well, it should be, because in the end, these are, what, $300 set of wired headphones? $300 wired headphones. I'm going to try these and see, because in the end, it's not about the feel, it's about how it sounds. Let's see how it sounds on this recording today. Okay, I'm going to pause it there for a minute. I'm getting my bearings in this piece of music, and, well, I'll just say that actually the sound does sound pretty good with these headphones, and it's so different to have headphones in my ears rather than over my ears. I've gotten used to the other way. Now I'm back to something that feels familiar from a long time ago. Okay. The music. I'm trying to think, okay, if this is something to end a DJ set, it is certainly very contemplative, meditative, calming, repetitive. The whole setup for it is so easy listening style. I'm even listening to the basic motif, or you could even say the hook, which is just a descending arpeggio, chord, triad, and it's building around just this single triad. It reminds me of some of the modern classical, easy listening type music that is so appeals to such a large audience. And actually I have a lot of students coming in say, I love this piece of music, or I love this piece of music, and I listen and say, oh yeah, sure, let's do that, but it has this, it's deceptive. If you're learning to play this on the piano, it's deceptive in that it sounds easy, it's relaxing to listen to, but to get all the syncopated rhythms and get the hands doing what you're supposed to do, it's not quite as simple as you might imagine. And so it's a really great learning opportunity and motivator for students who come in saying, I love this type of music. Well, absolutely, let's dive right in. So that's how it starts out, is making me think of that style of music, even tending towards the modern classical, which I'm sure modern classical has been influenced by modern popular styles. So there's a lot of crossover happening, and I'm not sure that I'm qualified to say which comes from where, really. But let's just say cross-pollination is a good thing. Have sort of a disco style beat behind it. That's interesting. So now my teacher brain is turning, and I'm thinking, all right, wouldn't this be fun to play with, this type of musical style with a classroom full of kids, like a large group, and start with a simple motif, just as simple as this triad. Well, I should even try to find it on the harp. Okay, so I think we are somewhere like... Let's go back to the section. So at this point, it's not a triad. At the beginning, let's go back to the beginning, just so we can hear what it was built from the beginning. So we were on a D-flat major triad, which is what really started off the piece. But by this point, this section we've just listened to, we're working with a little bit of a different set of notes, but still following the same motif. And I'm just thinking, okay, what if we start with a room full of kids and say, all right, you've got these few notes, we'll get this rhythm going, let's make it all peaceful and calm. Maybe one of the intermediate level kids can sit at the piano and play, and then get everybody else around. And what can we do with the rhythm? I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fun to do a sort of improvisatory rhythmic? I mean, because I do these things with my students, and I'm always looking for ways to make it feel fresh and relevant, and something like this would be really fun to play with. And this kind of music lends itself incredibly well to that sort of group participation, where everyone can come in with a little rhythm or just a single note or whatever they feel comfortable doing. And it suddenly makes the creative music making process feel incredibly accessible and achievable, even for the youngest and most elementary level students, which is what we want, because we want, as they're growing and developing as musicians, we want them to absorb the idea, the concept that making music is a natural part of being alive, really. And you don't have to just always connect one dot to the next and follow what the great experts tell you to do. You have the creative process within yourself. So I'm just thinking now, and as I said, my teacher brain is turning over different possible applications for something like this. And it's fun to explore. And I'll let you know how it goes when I have a room full of kids doing it. just down to the rhythm. They're making us wait. Of course, if you're dancing, it makes perfect sense to have this going on. Here it comes. And I was just talking about building an improvisatory experience around a musical motif. The idea being that the melody or the harmony or the more lyrical qualities of music are leading us through this musical development. But now in this section, which, as I said, it starts with rhythm and it was making us wait. Suddenly, that made the rhythm section take the lead. And as the other instruments came into this, suddenly they're following the rhythm rather than the rhythm following the other instruments. It's a switch of who's leading, which is a lot of fun to notice too, because if I take it back to this whole idea of a communal experience, you can totally take turns who's leading the piece, and that is loads of fun. Actually, it's kind of goes back towards the idea of a jazz ensemble where each one gets a chance to stand up and do a little solo section. See, now the instruments are fitting in between the rhythmic undergirding. Feels like the orchestra came back into its own and stepped up to lead again. Even though we still have the rhythm doing the same thing underneath, there was this orchestral surge and this motif returns. It feels like that is now choosing our way through the music, guiding us through the music. Now they're all kind of joining forces and functioning not as one following the other so much as a whole unit. Start imagining what the orchestra might be doing. Here it comes. It's still mostly rhythmic here. that's how it ends. Well, that was an interesting listening experience for me. And, well, as far as the headphone experience goes, I have to say it was pretty good. I guess these are the best in-ear headphones I've ever worn in my life, and I'm impressed. Well, I understand that these are the cheapest model. This is, they say match 10. And I haven't looked to see what the more expensive models are or what the differences are, but I'm sure if you're interested in trying out some wired in-ear headphones, give these a try because they're pretty nice. Well, as I said near the beginning of this, it started out sounding very much like modern, meditative, classical style, easy listening, even ambient music. This is so close to ambient music. If you just pull out the rhythmic drive, it could be playing in a hotel lobby or an airport. You know, sometimes you walk through these portions of the airport where they have greenery or lights or things to just kind of relax you, and this could be playing there. I feel like it's a great moment to talk about the power that music has over our mental and emotional state. And clearly, Robert Miles knew that. He knew enough to know, well, pretty much any good musician should know this, and many non-musicians know it as well. Why do we go to listen to music? It's often to either enhance a mood that we are seeking or help us explore an emotional state that perhaps we're driven through without our control, or maybe we want to go there, or maybe we want to take ourselves out of it. And music can do all of those things and more. Robert Miles took advantage of that element of music, and he did it in a way that, well, as I said, I never thought about the idea of car accidents resulting from getting too wound up at a musical dance event. So, I mean, good for him to step up and say, let's do something to make it safer for everyone to go home and arrive home safely. And it does have enough of a drive, enough of a beat thrown in there to kind of allow you to keep dancing if you wish. But it is so calm and calming. It puts us in that state of, okay, let's just step back, cool down, breathe, settle down, let all the heat of the moment dissipate, gather ourselves, get our wits about us. And it's interesting to me that it started incredibly calmly. The pace was the same throughout, but there was actually more rhythmic drive at the very end, which also kind of leaves you feeling not just calm, but also a bit energized, which is also a good thing if you're driving home late. So, interesting idea and a very responsible, socially responsible use of music, I would say. Nice sounding piece too. I mean, it's not really what you'd turn on to just listen to a piece of music, right? It doesn't have anything sung with it. It doesn't feel like it's really developing as a piece of music, but for its purpose, great. Well, this is the first in this special weekend. Now, tomorrow I'm going to be listening to a cover of it, which I don't know exactly what it is, but Vlad has hinted that I might be curious to see how it was reworked. He said something about it might interest me as a classical musician. So let's see what that is tomorrow. I'll see you soon.